All right, good morning, everyone. Looks like we're starting. And here I am west today. So usually I generally prefer to sit north and west. Don't know what everyone else prefers, but I'm sure everyone has their own minor preferences. So that's good. We have 9 high card points, but a pretty good hand for 9 points. A very nice 6-card suit headed by the Ace King with good interiors, 10-9 of hearts, and 6-4 shape. And our other suit also has very nice spot cards here. So Gary has opened 4 clubs, and I don't believe they play anything special here. So you would generally expect Gary to have something around 8 clubs and a weakish hand. So we'll see what develops here. If the auction goes pass to us, we're going to bid 4 hearts. Even though we only have 9 points, we have pretty decent distribution, and we also have the singleton club. So now that partner's doubled and it's bid 5 clubs, we had a little bit of a problem over 4 clubs double because we didn't really want to jump to 5 hearts. Since partner might have been under pressure, and also, we might have had a stronger hand to bid 5 hearts. But here, a competitive 5 hearts is sort of exactly what our hand strength is. We have a hand good enough to expect that we might be making 5 hearts, but not necessarily good enough that we make a slam, although we certainly could, as it looks like we might make on this deal. So Gary led the king of diamonds, which is probably him trying to get some sort of a ruff. He probably thinks that with them bidding and raising clubs and the fact that we just freely bid to the 5 level, he's probably not going to get very many club tricks. So the king is probably some sort of singleton or whatever. So we have a slam for sure on the basis of the spade finesse. We might have 7. But since Gary led the king as a singleton, the way I'm going to play the diamonds is I'm going to play the jack of diamonds first, and then I'm going to probably finesse right when Gary shows out, or even if he had followed with a small diamond, it wouldn't have mattered. But now when he shows out, I have this finesse for the 10 of diamonds for sure. And it's always good to take finesses that you know you're going to work. In general, experts try to avoid taking finesses because they might lose. But when you have a finesse that you know is going to work, you better take it. And welcome to the stream. I'm not sure what your name is. It says SCE. Hello. I'm just in the middle of finishing up this 5 heart hand. So as we can see, we have the ace of clubs for a loser, the queen of diamonds, and the ace of spades. So we have the rest of the tricks. So this slam actually was not that great of a slam. It became a lot better when the king of diamonds was led. If the king of diamonds is not singleton, I have to navigate this diamond suit. And then there's a spade finesse that is likely to lose because it's away from the preemptor. And on top of that, of course, I need hearts to come in. So I need 2 out of 3 things, which all have different percentages for happening. But generally in a slam, you want to need something more like 1 out of 3 things to happen, or if it's 1 out of 2 things, if it's a 50% slam that's on a finesse, generally you don't want to be there because there's always other chances of things going wrong that you aren't accounting for. So like, let's say you're in 6 hearts and it feels like it's just on a finesse, but it might also go down, let's say if trumps are 4-0, or if someone can get a ruff at trick 1 unexpectedly or something like that. So usually if it's what seems to be a 50% chance for a slam, you do not want to be in that slam. And if it's just a pure 50% slam, like you're in 6 no trump, and it's just whether the club finesse loses, then obviously you're sort of have even odds for whether you want to be there or not. So to our new viewer, yes. If you want to write any questions, you can just type them into the group chat. All right, so here we have something kind of interesting. All right, so we're going to bid 4 hearts here. And the way that our hand evaluates, we have a hand that's about strong enough to give a mixed raise. So like 7 to 9 with showing 4 trumps. But when at this vulnerability and the fact that the opponents have already come into the auction, we're just going to jump to 4 hearts and make the auction a little tougher for them. So in general, when you have a 5-card major, at non-vulnerable, you want to be jumping to 4 of the major after your partner's overcall anytime you have a singleton and anytime you're not 5-3-3-2. If you're 5-3-3-2, your hand often plays a little bit as if you might have only 4 trumps because you have reduced roughing value. So you don't have to jump to 4 hearts or 4 spades anytime you have 5 trumps when you're 5-3-3-2. But apart from that, if you're non-vulnerable, you pretty much should always be jumping to 4. Even if you're vulnerable, if you have 5-card support and a singleton, you should generally always do it. Even if you're unfavorable, just because your partner has probably compensated for that in their overcall as well. So you don't have to worry so much about the vulnerability. So here it looks like 4 hearts was down 1. And in their fit, the opponents have a diamond fit. Looks like they'll lose the king of diamonds and probably the ace of hearts and the ace of clubs also for down 1. So, however, they do make 4 diamonds. So we took this very, very cheap down 1 save, technically against their 4-level part score. So rather than defend 4 diamonds where they had a 10-card fit, we did get to go for minus 100, which is at least better than that. Although with all the rounds of trumps Janice is drawing, I wasn't really paying attention, but it looks like David might have had a heart void. And if David had a heart void, that would mean that that the opponents actually make 5 diamonds. Let's see, he did have a heart void. So yeah, in 5 diamonds, they're just going to lose a diamond and a club. So anyway, the result is not important. No matter what the result is, even if we get doubled and go for 800 somehow, which would just be impossible opposite a 1-heart opener, and they don't make anything, you're still going to be bidding 4 hearts with this hand, regardless of the result. All right, so here we have 6 high card points. Again, this nice 6-4 shape with good spot cards. So I wouldn't be comfortable bidding 2 hearts here because I'm unfavorable. And I like to have a better hand or a better suit at unfavorable. So I want it harder for the opponents to double me. So something I like to do when I'm sort of just wondering about how good my hand is. So partner here, 1 spade, 2 spades. I believe partner is trying to give me a limit race. And I believe our agreement is that pass is the worst action. So I don't have the worst hand I could have, believe it or not, because I have this nice shape. So my 3-heart bid is a little more encouraging than pass, but it's still not that forward going. Now we could make 4 hearts. In fact, we might actually bid again, or partner might bid again. But what I like to do to sort of just check to see how good my hand is I like to use losing trick count to check. Okay, we certainly can't bid to the 5 level at unfavorable, so we're just going to pass here. So when you lose losing trick count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have here, this is an 8 loser hand, which is functionally equivalent to a limit raise kind of strength hand. So about 10 to about 12 points, something like that. So partner is doubled, and we didn't ask partner to double or do anything, and we never showed much except that we were interested in defending or in competing to 3 hearts. So we're certainly not going to pull partner's double. And it looks like partner has some diamond length over there, so she knows that I have a singleton diamond. That's why she's leading the ace of diamonds. And she's returning her lowest diamond. Let's see, trump is spades, right? So she's asking me to not underlead the ace of hearts. I think it's very unlikely she has ace doubleton of diamonds. So that's what I'll do. Hopefully she has the ace of clubs. Yes. And will give me another ruff. So we're not getting any more ruffs now. So we're going to take the ace of hearts. And we're going to play another heart. Try to take a second trick there. Nope. So Janice had a very nice hand. As you can see, she had ace. She had 4 trumps with me to the king. To the king queen, I think, actually. And the ace of clubs and the ace of diamonds. And she did make a very good lead. It seems likely that she might have 4 diamonds over there and hope that she can give me a ruff. So this hand is over. We're hanging on to our Jack-10 fourth of clubs, and this is a good habit. Jack-10 third of clubs remaining. It's a good habit to get into because we know that our hearts are worthless. The opponents have plenty enough trumps to ruff them. So we just keep the suit that we might need to guard, even though we know that we don't actually need to guard this suit since the declarer is going to have the rest except for anything my partner could possibly take in trumps. All right, so here we have 9, 11, 14 points. We're going to open 1 club. Our 1 no trump range is technically, it's 14 plus to 17. But I generally don't like to upgrade into it all too often, especially not with a hand that can be perfectly described by opening 1 club. So they've overcalled 1 diamond, Janice has bid 1 heart, and they've now bid 2 diamonds. So this is a very awkward hand for me. Unfortunately, I have to pass. I would like to do something, but if I double, that would be a support double, since Janice's 1 heart only promises 4 hearts. And I would like to double to show, say, 4 spades or something like that. So now I will bid my 2 spades. Janice's double isn't penalty. It's just she has some cards, some extra points. Please do something, she's asking. Okay, so now what she's describing here, she has an invitational, no trump. She was doubling in case I could pass, and now she can't play 2 spades, so she's bidding 2 no trump, and I'm allowed to go to 3 no here. So that's sort of what she has. She's only 11, but it's a very normal bidding here. And we should be fine as long as the clubs break. Oh no. Well, let's see. So what's her tricks now? She has 3 clubs and 1 diamond is 4, and 5, 6, 7, And so, so she, even if the spades break, she only has 8 tricks. So she needs to sneak a heart, which is just not going to happen, I think, because looks like Gary started with maybe ace, king, 10, ace, king, jack, 10, fifth of diamonds, and ducked it to maintain communication. So it looks like David has the ace of hearts, and he's probably not going to duck this. So a lot of the time, by the way, what you'll see is I think she should have led the other way, because David almost certainly has the ace of hearts. Because Gary would have taken his high diamond and played back another high diamond if he had any inkling that he had a second entry, in case his partner had ace jack 10. So the best hope of getting the trick by was to play low to the king. Anyway, so this is going to be down 1. It's a very good contract. Well, very good, maybe an overbid, because Janice's queen third of diamonds is not 100% a stopper. Like, let's say Gary had happened to have both the king jack 10 of diamonds and the ace of hearts. He would have won the king at trick 1, played back the jack of diamonds, taken 3 rounds of diamonds, and then a heart over for down 2. So very good, I think, is an overbid, but certainly a pretty reasonable contract, and we have the points to be there, and certainly the source of tricks. So a little unlucky that clubs didn't break. All right, here we're back in 4th seat, and we have 8 high card points for 333. Nothing particularly exciting about our hand. We're probably not going to bid in this auction once they've overcalled. So to consider a 4-card overcall, you want to there's 2 types of hands where you consider doing it. One is if you're playing with a very weak partner and you're just trying to screw around, but I still wouldn't do it with this hand, and I'll explain why in a second. The second type is you have a good hand and it's very uncomfortable for you to bid anything else, and your suit is good enough that you're willing to overcall in it. So an example of a good hand where I would have overcalled would be, let's say I had a singleton spade with, you know, whatever, strong hearts like king, queen, jack, 4th or something, and ace third of diamonds and 5 small clubs. So with that hand, I wouldn't want to pass 1 diamond because I have a nice 10 high card points with a singleton, but I certainly wouldn't want to bid 2 clubs on 5 small, or even, let's say, queen 5th. So that's a hand where I might bid a 4-card suit. But the danger of bidding a 4-card suit, aside from the fact that your partner is going to think you have 5 and you might get too high, is that sometimes it's the opponent's 4-4 bid. They were heading to 4 hearts, and you just stopped that, and now they're playing 3 no trump instead of 4 hearts where the hearts are breaking. So you want to be very careful with 4-card overcalls in general. All right, so it's gone a diamond, a spade, 2 clubs, 2 no trump, and now everyone has passed. So this 2 heart bid, I think, is supposed to be natural because he's a passed hand. So we're just going to leave the ace of hearts and take a look at the dummy. All right, so here it was natural. So, and I'm sure that's what David assumed. So he just bid 2 no trump. So partner played the queen of hearts. So we know partner's letting us know that she has the jack of hearts, so we can play a low heart back to her. So the reason we led the ace of hearts instead of a low heart. Okay, so I was going to explain about why I led the ace of hearts at all, but I was just asked why did I lead the ace of hearts instead of the king of hearts? The king of hearts for us would be a power lead. We lead the ace for attitude. King is count or unblock. So I certainly didn't want partner to just randomly throw the queen of hearts if she had it. So I was asking her for attitude. And in the middle of this, I wasn't really looking. Okay, so Janice discarded the 2 of clubs. So what can Janice have for this 2 of clubs discard? Clearly she doesn't want to, David wants an undo, okay. Set up clubs, okay, interesting. Very interesting. Is she just trying to show me that she has the ace? Well, if Janice has something like king, queen of clubs, I have to lead a club. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to overthink it. A lot of the time when your partner's discarding, so she does just have the ace. Okay. When your partner's discarding a suit, you don't really want to be leading it because you want to lead a suit. But here, none of the other options are particularly appetizing. Looks like David, since he started with 2 hearts, is 5-4-2-2. So then we know that the spades are just breaking. And leading a diamond, which is his 5-card suit, again, doesn't seem super appetizing. So our other choice besides a club would have been to lead a spade, and that would be hoping that David is 5-5. So I'm just going to discard that. Okay, so he was 5-5. Interesting. So it would have been better to lead a spade, actually. Because it wouldn't help declare with anything. But the diamond finesse was onside the whole time here. So it wasn't really going to make much of a difference, I don't think. Except it would mess up with his entries. All right, so back to this ace king fourth. The reason I lead high is that from ace king fourth, you generally should be leading high, because if you lead low, then you need your partner to have, like, if you lead low and declare wins this trick, then what you're hoping for is essentially that the suit is 3-3, and so you can set up your 4th round because you already have the ace king. So you're only setting up an additional trick in the suit. Or of course you're hoping your partner is something like queen third, but then if your partner is queen third, then leading the ace will be just fine. So if you lead the ace, you can decide what to do next. You might be right to continue with the king next, or you could play low next like I did. It just gives you a lot more flexibility. If you have something like ace king fifth, now it's different. Now what you're doing is you're hoping to set up 2 additional tricks. So when you lead low, then you keep the entry to your hand when your partner has doubleton. So on this board, I really would have preferred Janice to discard a higher club, because telling me that she has the ace of clubs is not that important. I thought that she probably would be discarding this way, from more like a holding with that where she might actually want me to lead clubs. But perhaps she was worried I might have the king of clubs, which seems not super likely because she could count the points. I've already turned up with ace, king of hearts. It's not very likely I have the king of clubs. All right, so we have 7 high card points. A hand where we would have opened a weak 2 in hearts in general, but probably not unfavorable for me. I think discussed last time that I like to be pretty careful when I'm unfavorable because I don't want to just go for 1100 when the opponents were just making 430. So it's gone 1 spade, 2 hearts. So we know there's 5 hearts on our left, 3 clubs, which is natural, 3 diamonds, which may or may not be natural. And now 5 no trump, which is clearly intended as pick a slam. So we have quite a strong hand for this auction. So we'll see where they end up. I think they're probably going to end up in no trump. And, oh, 6 clubs. Okay. Well, we have a few options here. We could lead a heart and hope to give partner a ruff. We could, probably this ace of spades isn't going to go anywhere because declares, sounds like declares maybe 5-5. So would declare be 5-5-0-3, and we lead a diamond, and we could lead a diamond to try to set up partner's trick. Those are all options here. So what's dummy going to come down with? What are the chances that partner has a hard void? Probably not super high, unless this guy. We know David probably doesn't have 2 hearts. Probably has a stiff heart. So if this guy is like 6 hearts and 4 diamonds and chose to bid this way, then it's possible. Clearly a very strong hand. So, all right, we'll try it. Nope. So partner has, looks like also a singleton heart. So here we led what happened to be our honest normal spot card from this suit, which was 3rd from an even number. But we didn't have to do this. Usually when you're trying to give partner a ruff on opening lead, you're just going to lead a suit preference card. But I didn't really want to lead the 9 of hearts. It might have been useful or something. So that's why I led my highest non-9 suit preference card. Ruff it. Nope. Okay, so declare had a void in hearts, which means declare is likely 5-5-3. All right, we're going to take this trick. So if we have the ace of diamonds, it's not going to go away. So we're just going to play another trump. There's no point in playing heart, and there's not much point in playing a diamond. If partner has the ace of diamonds and we missed our ruff, so be it. But we're just going to hope that maybe declare has to ruff 1 extra spade that he wasn't accounting for, although that is unlikely because then he wouldn't have drawn 1 round of trumps before playing spades. So he's going back to his hand safely with a heart. It's pretty unlikely I let a singleton heart. He's worried if he goes back to his hand with the ace of diamonds that I might actually ruff that. So, and I'm very close to being able to ruff it. So there wasn't any great lead here. All Declare really had to do was just he needed to ruff one spade, and he knew that the diamonds were going to be coming in for a discard. All right, so here we have 10 high card points, but we have a void, and we have ace, ace, queen. So given all those factors, we are going to open the bidding with this hand. This hand is too strong to pass. If you're doing your little losing trick count checker, which I recommend you do whenever you have close decisions, you can see this hand is 1 loser, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loser hand, which functionally is equivalent to hand that's strong enough to reverse. So obviously we only have 10 points. So you can see that losing trick count, it cannot be your only metric because you cannot be reversing with a hand like this. But it should, if you're deciding whether to open and you have a hand that evaluates to reverse losing trick count, then perhaps you should open the bidding. All right, so it's gone a club, a heart, a spade, all pretty normal. Partners bid 2 diamonds, artificial game forcing. So we're going to pattern out with 3 diamonds. And now partner knows our shape, that we're 5-4-4. We can't be 4-1-4-4 because we would have opened the diamond first with that holding. So partners should know that we're 5-4-4, 4-0-4-5, and they can do whatever they want. Okay, so partner's bidding 4 diamonds as some sort of a slam try. Well, we have a super minimum, but we have 2 aces. So I don't really want to bid key card. And Janice is super aggressive about slams. So what we would really rather do with this hand is just respond to key card. But we can't do that. So I'm just going to cubit 4 spades. We would have played 4 hearts as key card, even if I wanted to bid 4 hearts as a cubid. So that's why I'm not bidding it. But even if it was available as a cubid, I wouldn't cubid a suit that she already knew I was voiding. Okay, so Janice signed off, which we're totally happy with, because we felt a little guilty about cubiting for her in the first place. But when you have 2 aces, it's hard to not cooperate. So over 4 spades, so she could have bid 4 no trump as some sort of a forward going. Okay, so her hand was just kind of crappy. So 5 diamonds is plenty high enough. Looks like we're going to lose a diamond and we're going to lose a club. And hopefully that'll be it. It's good that we didn't play 3 no trump because her heart stopper is extraordinarily weak. And when I bid the hand this way, she knows that this queen 4th, which normally looks like a fine stopper, is actually facing a void here. So what she's going to do is she's going to try to discard her club on 3 rounds of spades, figuring that even if someone roughs in, at least it'll be weakening their trump position. And if no one roughs in, then she might not have to lose a club at all. Okay, so now that she's done this, the hand's not over. She can't just draw trumps because she needs to rough a bunch of things now. So the problem with roughing clubs is that David led a club, and at some point this club might get over roughed. But still, she needs to do it. She needs to set up her tricks. So she's roughing with the 8 as sort of like a, like just in case play. If they over rough, at least it has to be with the 10, that kind of thing. And she has a little bit of wiggle room because she's only lost 0 tricks so far. There's the ace of diamonds to lose still. She can afford to lose 1 over ruff. So I'm not really sure about the decision to ruff with the 8 first and then ruff with the 2. That seems a little silly. Seems like you would choose to ruff with the 2 first. But that wouldn't have worked either, as it turns out, because David has the 10 of diamonds as well. Okay. Okay, so unfortunately, Janice is going to go down here, and she's going to go down 2, because the thing is, she can set up her 5th club, but she can't get back to the dummy. So she's going to have to lose 2 more hearts, or a spade and a club, or whatever she. So given the layout of the hand, it would have been actually just better. First, it would have been better for her to just play low at trick 1, okay? Because then she could just lose the king of clubs and the ace of diamonds. But she was worried that there might be a club ruff coming. But if there is a club ruff coming, I think she's going to go down anyway. So I think that she might have figured this one out a little better. All right, so here we have 7 high card points and not enough to open the bidding. And not enough to come in. If we had a little more, we could double here. That would show the red suits. But even as a passed hand, we want a little closer to about 10 points to do that. We could have also overcalled 2 hearts, again, if our hand was a little better, or if our hearts were better. Like if we moved all our points to hearts, so we have the ace, queen, jack, 5th of hearts instead of elsewhere, I probably would have overcalled 2 hearts as a passed hand, figuring that it's going to be difficult for the opponents to go after you, and we definitely would like partner to lead a heart if they're going to be on lead. So the opponents have bid and raised spades. And when I'm just sitting here waiting for them to bid, I start to think, okay, so what do I hope happens to the opponents? So here we have a singleton spade, so I hope that a 4-1 trump break happens to them, because it's certainly possible partner has the 4. All right, so we're on lead. So normally our lead sequence is going to be ace king followed by singleton, followed by 3-card sequence, followed by partner suit, none of which apply. So usually the 4th thing that we want to lead is we want to lead a sequence like this queen jack of clubs. But when they open a club and when it's just queen jack, it doesn't seem that appetizing. So we're just going to lead from our 5 small hearts. In general, I like to choose suits to lead from where I have very little, so it's not very likely to give up a trick. And it might certainly establish tricks in the suit when it's partner who has winners in the suit. All right, so partner won the ace, so we know that means that declare has the queen. Partner's returning a diamond. So probably no matter what card declare plays, we're going to win this and return a diamond. Unless we think partner could have the singleton. Singleton heart. That would give declare 4 hearts. So he would have 5 spades, 4 hearts, a stiff club, and 3 diamonds. It's not impossible. Yeah, let's do that. I don't think the spade is going anywhere. Or the diamond is going anywhere if partner happens to have the king. And David thought a little bit before playing the jack, so it seems kind of likely that he might have a king jack anyway. So we could discard hearts or diamonds. We're not going to discard a club. None of those will be useful. So as we expected, David did in fact have the king jack of diamonds. Sort of guessed that a little bit based on his thought. If you have something just like queen jack, of course you're not going to think, you're just going to play, right? So when he thinks and plays the jack, he should be having king jack, and he's deciding, is Janice underleading the ace, or am I just going to play the jack? So it looks like David had 5 spades and 3 diamonds and 3 clubs. So so he just has the rest almost certainly. So this was a nothing board for us. David had to guess the diamonds to decide whether he made 4 or 5. All right, we have 5, 10, 11 high card points. And we would open this hand because of the 5-4 shape and nothing particularly bad about our hand. So they've opened 3 hearts and Janice has made a takeout double. And so now, of course, we're going to bid a game. So her minimum takeout double over 3 hearts could just be a minimum opener, but we can't really thread the needle too much. 3 spades would be a big underbid. So had it gone past around to us, we would have been in a little bit of a problem. And I think with the poorly positioned king of hearts, we would have just let 3 hearts play. But now that Janice has made a takeout double, this is great. We're going to be bidding 4 spades. And when Janice doubles, she doesn't promise that she has 4 spades. So we could wind up in a 4-3 fit. But if I do something like Q bid that's really ambiguous as to what I have, it could have, you know, single suited minor, you know. And the other thing is if I Q bid and Janice does bid, she does bid spades, then the lead is going to be coming through my king of hearts, which I don't want. So I'm just going to bid 4 spades. And I'm just going to ignore this psychic redouble here. So David was trying to mess around because he has a lot of hearts. So we doubled here just to say that, you know, like, I mean, of course we had our 4 spade bid, like we promised. Okay, so it wasn't entirely a psychic redouble. He had enough that maybe he was hoping that it would cause us to be a little more fearful. But obviously not enough to actually double pretty much any contract that we were playing. He was always going to play 4 hearts. But I think he wanted a situation where maybe if I bid something and partner could double it, then I don't know. You can watch his stream and he'll tell you about it. It looks a little psychic. All right. So we're going to put in this jack of spades here, see if it wins the trick. It does. Okay, so partner's asking me for a diamond. I'm sorry, a club, but I can just see that there's no rush to play. There's no really reason to play a club here. So could partner get N played? Let's see. Well, I'm gonna get in with the king of hearts later. So I'm just gonna see what's going on in diamonds. I'm leading the ace of diamonds because we have ace jack. So if declarer has the king of diamonds and not the queen and king and 1, they're not going to ever play low. So I'm not going to risk losing to like a singleton king or something. All right, so declarer had a stiff heart. So it looks like declarer is probably Probably like 6-3-3-1 or something. So probably I should have played a club through, because if Declare has a queen jack or whatever, they can actually duck this trick. I mean, not queen jacks, just the queen. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Partner just had a king queen. So the contract is we have 3 tricks. There, we're going to get 1 more. Yep, down 2. And in spades, we were going to lose a spade, a heart, and a diamond, and a club, so we couldn't bid any more than we did. So you can see Gary's 3 heart bid was quite aggressive. You know, some people might not even open 2 hearts with that hand. So I think he was trying to mess around with the favorable vulnerability. And he got lucky, caught his partner with a hand that was good, but not good enough that it could beat 4 spades. So. And they had a very nice fitting hand too, because just so happened that Gary had a singleton diamond opposite David's 3 small diamonds. All right, so it's gone a club, a heart, 2 hearts. We have 7 high card points. Wasn't enough to do anything in this auction, and it still isn't enough to do anything in this auction. And especially a partner being a passed hand, it's not like we want to stick our necks out there and try to go for a big number. So if we have a 4-4 spade fit, so be it. Okay, so interesting enough, they're passing it out in 2 hearts, and we only have 7 points. So what that means is partner has some stuff, but partner didn't have enough stuff to double over 1 heart, even though we can guess she probably has 2 hearts. So a lot of the time what this means is that David made a 3-card raise, and partner actually has 3 hearts instead of 2 hearts. Another thing that this could mean is that the opponents are both at the top of their range. So Gary has something like 10 points and didn't have enough to want to make a game try. And partner is just light. So we'll figure out which one it is in 1 second when Janice leads. Hello, Greg. I assume, don't know if you're coming from a different stream, so you're up to date on the thing, but you know, we don't have too much time left, but if you have any questions during our last 10 minutes, feel free to type them into the chat. All right, so finally Janice is led. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be which situation did I say first? I don't remember. The situation where they're both sort of close to the top of their range, and not enough to make a game try. So partners led the king of clubs, dummy has ace jack. So obviously we don't need to give attitude. What we're going to do is we're going to give count. So we play upside down, so I'm playing the 2. Partner, of course, should know that I don't have a... All right, so we can't play the king here, I don't think. I think partner is very likely to have the jack or the queen of hearts for Dakota's play. If partner has the queen of hearts, it's a disaster. And given this, it would have been better for us to play high and hope that partner had the queen so we can get our ruff. But you know, it's not guaranteed that like if partner did have the queen of hearts, we would just be breaking even. So Oh. So we're not going to rough this trick. We're going to hope we can gain the lead at some point to draw that fourth round, the third round of trumps. Might not happen, but we'll see. Should we split? Yes. If we have the 9, then it'll be fine. So yeah, I think so. So given the layout of the hearts and the fact that Gary guessed it, because he certainly might have guessed the other way around. He might have guessed to play low. All right, so we're in. We're going to draw that last trump. It looks like partner might have the ace of hearts, so ace of spades. So now the suit is frozen. We think partner probably did have the ace-9 of spades. So we're not going to play a spade. We're just playing a diamond. Try to set up a diamond trick or so. No, it looks like Declare might have started with 4 spades. No, is that true? So Declare was 4 triple 3, I guess. That's why he's playing it like this. So he's hoping to end play one of us. But we both have spades and diamonds left. Okay, so since Declare couldn't ruff anything in their hand, we would have been better off going up with the King of Hearts to get our ruff. It looked a little dangerous at the time. A lot of the time you might be in a break-even spot where, you know, then they get the additional trumps to ruff with because so they don't have to draw the third round. So let's see what happened on this board. So Janice was at the top of her bid, and so was Gary. He had a 9 count, but 4 triple 3. All right. So it's gone 2-no trump. I want to bid here. I'm going to bid. This is an overbid. Obviously, when they open 2-no, I don't have a hand where I can possibly want to play 3-no next. So my bid just shows the minors. The reason I'm bidding here is I think I have a little bit more safety than usual because I'm 6'5". Oh, I would, of course, never bid if I was less than 6'5", but I also have a spade void. So I think the opponents probably have a spade bid, which they're going to try to play in. And so not super unexpected, Gary is ignoring my bid and bidding 4 clubs. And so the other advantage of bidding in this kind of auction is most people haven't discussed what on earth these bids mean, although you might assume it's unusual over unusual. So here you might assume that Gary has hearts and a good hand. So our 3-no bid, I would say that we have a little worse of a hand, but a little more defense to hearts than one might expect. And so David's pass is just that he has uncertainty about doubling 5 clubs. So it's assuming Gary's bid 4 clubs shows hearts. That's surprising to us because we would have expected him to show spades since we have none of those and 2 hearts. But the good thing about bidding 3-no in this auction, even though it's a little bit pushy, is that once you bid 3-no, you can be pretty happy that you've shown more than what your hand has, so you can just sit back and relax for the rest of the auction. So Gary bid 6 clubs and my partner didn't double it. We don't play any anti-lead directing doubles. So basically what we're saying here is that partner doesn't necessarily want me to lead a club when she doesn't double. Seven clubs. Okay. I'm not sure why she's saving, but was I supposed to double 6 hearts to stop her from saving? All right, so this contract of 7 hearts was literally just going to go down because I was going to play ace of diamonds and a diamond rough. So I'm not sure about this save at equal vulnerability. Now, on the bright side, the save will probably be pretty cheap because she's just going to lose a club and a heart. So we might do better than some people who never bid with my hand and just sold out to 4 hearts. But I feel like she has a little too much, you know, like reason to believe this contract might just go down. So what we're hoping here now is that if Gary has only 1 diamond, then I couldn't give her a rough. And so, no, he has 2 diamonds. Okay. So was I supposed to double? I mean, it seems like I can't be expecting her to be saving at equal vulnerability after already bidding 5 clubs. So I don't know. So I guess I should have doubled because 6 hearts was down 2. Her bid was not crazy. I mean, look at her distribution, but she was hoping that the opponents would stop in 5 hearts when she bid 5 clubs. Otherwise, she should have had she has a jump to 6 clubs if she thinks that you know, they are always going to bid a slam. Because if she bid 6 clubs and then I don't want to save, then she might also think that I can't really save myself because I don't know exactly what she has. So I might think, oh, she wants to double 6 hearts. I can't really save in front of her. So I don't know. Anyway, we did better than the pairs that are in 4 hearts. Okay, so it looks like we're done. So thank you all for watching.
Great job, Sylvia.
And as usual, I'll be on for another couple minutes if anyone wants to ask any questions.
I have a question, Sylvia.
Yes.
On the